because for 5 minutes, it's just us talking. You know what I mean? So, all right. So that's cool. So we are
He's
live.
only here for the interview, man. He didn't want to sit here and bullshit with us.
Listen, I was texting Joe earlier. I said, man, his tournament is, man, you got some dang good teams coming. St. Louis.
Sure does.
No, I'm excited this year. It's going to be so far it looks like a nice list. It's going to be a good turnout. So
is this bigger than last year?
Yeah. Yep. There's several more teams. A lot of teams. About half of them haven't been to St. Louis yet. So I'm excited to get those new teams out there.
No, that's good, man. That's that'll be what I love about that is there's a lot of teams in there, man. I don't know if there's a couple 2 or 3 years teams I've never played, and the only way you'll ever see them is in Vegas.
Yep.
So that's cool, man. That's the fun part of that, and I was hoping I can get a majority of my squad there, so be competitive out there for sure.
Well, I'm excited to be able to.
Man. Go ahead, Trini.
I'm excited to be able to talk about y'all's tournament, Brandon, because, I mean, Joe told me that there's and I've heard, and Joe's the one that has, the info. He's the one that talks to people, and he understands what's going on throughout the circuit, and he makes an effort to do it, especially to help me out, because, but man, everybody was just like, dude, these teams were awesome, and it was such great competition throughout the whole tournament. So I called Brandon up and told him I was really happy for him, with the way that went. So,
the cool thing about like here, which it's pretty obvious, is you get all the Florida teams, and me and Joe talk about this many a times, and a lot of these Florida teams just won't travel, but if 5-0 and the Dogs, Center Mass, travels a little bit, if those teams will actually go to tournaments and travel, man, there's a lot of good talent down here, man. I think the Miami Dogs is up there with a majority of the top 10 teams. If they would travel 5-6 times a year, they could.
That team's stacked, man. That team's legit.
They just don't travel.
Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yep,
no problem. I think right now, since Joe's at work, I think that's his effort to make it seem like he is important and that people need him. That's what I think personally. Let's see. Deanna, voice is still good? Still clear? Okay, good. Because I'm adjusting this thing.
You at home, or are you like in Abu Dhabi, or where you are?
No. So I'm at my office right now. So, but it is cool because we went to Dubai last year, and we're now going to plan another trip. So we're going to be heading to. This time we're going to go to. What's that place with the? It's near there. It's where the bungalows are over the water. Maldives. There you go. Thank you, Deanna. We're going to Maldives, and then we're going to go from there to Dubai for only a couple of days this time, because we want to be able to. Audrey wants to go to a few places that she really enjoyed when we were there, so she wants to go back. And then we're not sure yet, but we're thinking either Thailand or what's that other place? I can't remember the other place, but it's somewhere over there. So yeah, that'd be pretty neat to be able to go and to highlight that. And one of the things I like to do is and I've got this new video room that I've created that's in here in our office. And so I've done a few episodes on traveling with Trini, and so I'm excited to be able to kind of pick that back up again, because I mean, a majority of what I get from people are that they really enjoy seeing where we go on vacations, and I know a lot of people are happy for us because we're out and we're, traveling and enjoying our time like we need to. But it's also really neat because we work hard, and officers, corrections officers, we don't get paid as well. So when we do go on a vacation and we are going to spend that kind of money, it's kind of cool to be able to hear from somebody that you can, that you can trust,
Sure.
Yeah, when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
that's I love seeing you guys adventures, that's for sure, because that's some cool ass places you guys are going.
Yeah, it is really neat. I know. So hey, man, we got Softball by Fat on here, man. What's going on, brother? I love that logo too. That's cool. Let's see here. Frank there. And then we got Stu. What's going on, Stu? Nice to see you, man. I know Stu has a brand, and he sent me it somewhere. I gotta get that because I told him that I would do that, and I get wrapped up and stuff. Let me see here. And then, so I know we're almost ready, but let's see when Joe's going to be back here.
And Joe's probably still a marathon. He's lying to us.
Let's see here.
Have you been down there before, Trini, to the Keys?
Nope, never have. And that's what I was telling Joe is I wanted to head down there. So
yeah, that's one of the favorite spots down there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was supposed to go. I was excited to go. What's going on, Dan? How you doing, brother? Man, Dan does so many great things for everybody.
Yes,
it's so cool to be able to see, all the things that he's involved in and what he does when he steps up to the plate, if you will, for everybody.
For him, man. He's a good dude.
Yep. I've got Thomas Eldridge. What's going on, Tommy? Hey, guys. Great tournament, Brandon. Yeah. Let's see here. Thomas, boy, those guys. Tommy ended up walking away with some hardware, huh?
Some bling, man. He did. That's another team that's close. That's close, man. They get a couple pieces, man. They only in the round robin. I'll talk about it a little bit in a second, but the round robin, they all played major. He played 3 major teams, and I don't think he lost by less than 3 runs in the game. So they're close.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we're gonna get started because I know that that Joe's really emphasizing his importance there. So let's see. Andy is hello, hola, fellas. Driving back from the border. Keep me company until I get home. Will do, Andy. I like that logo too, man. I got to step up my game, Deanna. You got to get me a cool logo like that. So all right. Well, hey, Brendan, we'll get this thing started, and then we'll have you on to talk about your tournament. And I'm excited to be able to do it. So let's see here. All right. So, all right. Hey, we are on, what is this? Episode 52 of the Police Softball Podcast, and we're going to get rolling. Partner in crime, Joe, joining me again. We got another special guest. Don't forget, man, I got your 6. All right, April 26th. Let's see. Ready? Is it the 26th? Yep, sure is. 2023. This is episode 52 of the Police Softball Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm really excited to be able to get this show on the road. And we got T-Ball checking in quickly. It says, hola, fellas. Looking forward to a great night of the PS podcast. That's what I'm talking about. We got something really cool when it comes to Tom Ball. For those that don't know, got something pretty cool that we're going to be talking about when it comes to his father and a bunch of years of community service. So excited for that. We got Joe, my partner, who is, I believe he's going to be joining us here in just a second. Let me see here. All right, there he is. Cool. All right, man. So we're going to bring Joe on now. If you don't know, my name is Trinidad. I am the, what am I? The coach of SA Law. I am one of Joe's best friends. Let me take Joe off that. Yeah, so I'm one of Joe's best friends. All right, we'll bring him back on. And no, I'm excited to be able to be here with you, Joe. I know you just got off of a vacation. I know we're going to talk about that here in just a second, but let's see here. We got Dan Potter's joining us, Andy Monterrubio, Tommy Eldridge, Stu Donaldson, Softball by Fat. And Softball by Fat, Frank says, just getting ready to fly back home tomorrow. I've been in Florida on vacation for the last 9 days. That's the way to do it, man. I like that. I like it when you go to one of these tournaments and then you stick around a little bit later and really take in the sights, sounds, and scenes of these different environments. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Florida was a good time, my man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. On that note, we've got our special guest with us, Brandon. West is going to be with us to talk about the John Scollo Memorial Tournament. So we're going to get to that here in just a second. And let's see here. Dan Potter says, Brandon, I think those rings are awesome. I talked to him about those rings, and man, I think that's what we're going to be doing for our tournament here in Waxahachie for the Keepers of the Peace. I know last year we had a discussion on that, but everybody said they looked really nice, and we just won some rings here not too long ago. We'll talk about that in a second, but I think the quality of the rings have gotten a lot better, and so yeah, I'm excited for that, man. Let's see here. Tyler Wilson, our Canadian connection. What's up, boys? Glad to see you boys again. It's been a while. It has been. We got Linda Garcia, a faithful fan of SA Law and the show. Shout out to Linda.
And Missouri Lawman.
And Missouri Lawman, you're right. I want her to get back out there, man. It's fun when she's there, man. It's always a great time. Let's see here. And then let's see here. Andy says, Audrey is your partner. Hey, don't get me in trouble, man. But the good thing is she's busy until, oh, nope, she's ready now. She'll be here at 7. So, hey, Dan, I'll let you take over the comments. But Joe, I'm excited about the podcast. I do know that you just went on a vacation yourself. I can tell you got a little son. Where'd you guys head to, man?
Well, I went down to the Keys last Tuesday and spent a little bit of time down there getting some new furniture moved into my condo down there, and then went up to West Palm, played a couple days of softball with Brandon and the West Palm Beach Scollo Tournament. Spent some time with a team that you should have been involved in, but you had some issues that you had to deal with, so you couldn't make it down, unfortunately. Yeah. But we had a great time, and ended up going back down again after the tournament, finished up a few things, and then just got back today.
Yeah, man. Well, I know we have a couple of pictures, and so man, so it was in what part of Florida?
That picture there was in Marathon Key. It's like the middle key between Key Largo and Key West.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and 40 minutes away from Miami, south of Miami.
You've been lifting some weights, haven't you, Joe?
I haven't been in the gym in a couple of weeks, man. I need to get back in. It makes me feel weird not having been in the gym. I've been kind of busy, man.
Well, you don't look like you missed the gym, man. You're looking pretty sharp, man. Pretty sharp. Let's take a look at that next photo. Look at that, man. And this is in Marathon. Is there a particular place that this photo was taken at?
The sunset there was on like the Gulf side, the bay side of Marathon, and the one with the Corona Premium sitting there, that's on the Atlantic side. That's actually, if you see that bridge right there, a lot of people may know 7 Mile Bridge. It's kind of a famous bridge down there, 7 miles long between Marathon and Big Pine Key. And, it's been in several movies, I believe.
How far away is it from the where Brandon puts on that John Scollo Memorial Tournament?
From there, I would say it's probably about 2 hours, 45 minutes from West Palm Beach.
That's not bad, man. Yeah, that's not bad. I think it's always important to highlight, the different places to go to. You're flying all the way there. You're there anyway. If you extend it a couple of days, a couple of hours is nothing, man. Check out that morning after the tournament's over, go spend a couple of days and fly out from there. I'm a big fan of that. So that's pretty cool. I know we're going to be talking to Brandon here in just a second. So let's see here. We've got, hey, all right. That's my grandson there, Julian, saying, hi, Papa. That's what I'm talking about. That's neat. That's my son, Kenneth, too. Awesome. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. I happened to come off a vacation also and went to Sedona, Arizona. I don't know if y'all happened to go to Sedona, but man, it was beautiful. We went down there, a little bit of a celebration for Audrey's birthday, and got to see the Grand Canyon, up close for the first time. Had flown over it and done things like that, but never actually visited. And I thought that was really cool. We keep going. Let's see this next one. Yeah, it's pretty neat, man. A lot of great bars with great and restaurants with great views. And so anyway, we'll run through a couple of these. That was a really cool place. And we went there right at sunset, Mariposa. And we went there right at sunset. And if you see where Audrey's looking out, they have these screens that come down. So that's the darker areas. But then they lifted up the screen on one of those areas. And it was really cool, man. It was a little chilly, but it was pretty cool. Let's see. Let's keep going. And Yeah, there we go. Some final ones. The resort we stayed at had this creek. We had some champagne delivered for Audrey's birthday. And those cookies, man, I'm not big on sweets, but those cookies were, whew, I ate quite a few of them. So we want to, Kathy and Jesse, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, sent those.
Were those special cookies that are baked
Oh,
with the
well.
THC oils?
Well, those are different, but just as good, I will say. It's all medical, Joe. All right. It's all medical. So yeah, man. So anyway, we unfortunately, man, if you guys have followed the podcast and understand what we do on this show, there's a special pumpkin in our lives called the Waxahachie pumpkin. And you know, if you look at this frame, this picture here, you'll see that the Waxahachie pumpkin is very special. You know, we start talking about special people in our lives. You can see Joe has hung out with the Waxahachie pumpkin. You know, he's visited my house on numerous occasions. But unfortunately, Joe, when I got back from Arizona, we went a little bit too long and I didn't give him the attention he needed. So what ended up happening was the Waxahachie pumpkin got a little sick, you know, and he ended up struggling a little bit. So right now he's at a hospital. He's getting the attention he needs, and we're hoping we're going to see him back in Waxahachie in September. So, you know, we wish him the best, and we're hoping that everything turns out okay. But he was in pretty bad shape when we got home. So, guys, pay attention to those that are close to you, and make sure when you leave that you make arrangements. So we'll see what happens with that when we're done.
That pumpkin must have smelled really good.
I don't feel too good about that one, man. Hey, one other thing around the circuit. We got a special promotion that took place with a guy from your team. Joe, you want to talk about this one? Let's bring it up, Deanna.
Oh, promote. So Gilbert, he just graduated to command college recently. He's been a detective sergeant for a few years with Hazelwood Police Department. He's also a part of the Major Case Squad here in St. Louis, Missouri, and the surrounding areas in Illinois, where we work strictly homicides for the area. He was promoted within the Major Case Squad to a deputy commander, basically someone who runs these investigations and oversees all the work done by all the investigators with the squad.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Congratulations, Brendan. Brendan. It's an inside joke that we had to work through earlier today. Hey, on that picture on your vacation photo, Andrea says, if you can bring it up, Deanna, Joe looks like a mob boss, made man in that picture. That's what I was going to say, man. I felt like I needed to pay him out, man. Like give him a percentage of what I'm doing here.
Yep. I think most mob bosses have hair. Just saying.
Well, it's there. You can see it right now a little bit. But let's see here. What do we got? All right, man. So, all right. The next one is we've got a special thing that's coming up. We're going to keep this one in our back pocket, Deanna, until we show the video when it comes to Reagan. So we have something special coming up. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to check this out. This really made my day. And it even when we brought it up today, it made me laugh. Check this little kid who we should all be feeling like when we step to the plate in every single tournament. I feel like
killing it, man. He was killing it.
I feel like that's what you should feel like every time, man. Like if you could have that kind of enjoyment and that kind of freedom in your life, I mean, that's really living, man. And I don't know, I may do something like that in my Waxahachie tournament over. I don't know. I may end up. I really am considering doing something like that. That was so cool, man. It made me really smile. That was awesome.
Reminds me of Gilbert when Mike O'Neill was playing the Wrecking Ball song by Miley Cyrus every time that he came up to the plate last year in the World Series.
Man, I loved it. I'll tell you what, I know that Brandon's with us, and one of the things that also happened within the circuit is, and Dan, I know we're skipping one, but is a wedding that took place, and we've had this guy on our show before, and I'm excited to be able to say that it's really cool that Michael J. Fall ended up getting married here recently. And that's a great kid, man. I really like him a lot. And so for me, I think it was really neat to be able to highlight him on the tournament or on the show. And then you got Brandon that was able to attend. So I think that's really cool, man, to be able to see those types of relationships, and have photos like that. Congratulations, Michael, man. And we're going to talk to Brandon about how that went, because it looks beautiful. The venue looks beautiful. So, I was really happy about that, man.
Congrats, Fall. I didn't even know that. I saw him this weekend. He didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, that was super cool, man. And I probably didn't know that we were going to talk about it, but yeah, but yeah. Hey, next thing on the circuit is Tom Ball. If you guys don't know Tom Ball, he is now with our team. So it's pretty cool because he's a great guy especially when it comes to being here for the right reasons. So I think it's really cool. Well, his father is also Tom Ball, was presented on Saturday, this couple Saturdays ago, with a proclamation from the city and also a congressional recognition for his achievements during his 60 years of law enforcement. Check this out. We got some pictures here that we wanted to show. Special Texas Ranger is what Mr. Tom Ball was. And man, when you think about that, Joe, and you start talking about the stories that man could tell, the experiences that he had in his time is amazing. For somebody to be able to have that kind of commitment to his profession, the amount of people that he helped was, I'm sure, just, how do you keep track over all those years? So I don't know, Deanna, do we have another picture with that? No. So there was a gun and a pair of handcuffs that he was given, and I kicked myself for not showing that. But let me see here. Maybe I can do this on the camera. Check this out, Joe. That's a cool piece to get as a gift, along with, let's see here on the bottom. That's a part of what was on the bottom. Let me see if I can get that thing in there. Yeah, it's not going to come out as clear. But man, as a special ranger, look at these cuffs. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. And that's pretty neat, man. The detail and what an honor to be able to. There you go, Texas Highway Patrol. Yeah, man, that's super cool, man. So congratulations, Mr. Tom Ball. Thank you for all your service, and we truly appreciate you. That was awesome to be able to see that, and for him to be able to, to be able to receive that recognition. I'm sure he's not the type of person with that many years on that's looking for the attention, but it's good to get it. He deserves it. So congratulations, Tom Ball. Let's see here. All right. So next we're going to bring on, let's see here. All right. So Brandon, man, we're ready for Brandon. We're going to be talking about the John Scollo Memorial Tournament that just took place here. So we'll bring in, let's see here. All right. What's going on, Brandon?
How are you guys?
All right, man.
Good,
all
man.
Right.
Good to have you.
So I have heard from quite a few people about how wonderful this tournament was. So, man, Joe, you were able to attend. I was supposed to be there, couldn't. But I'm excited for people to hear about this tournament and to know all about it. So, man, I'm going to let y'all take it.
Okay, you want me to
Brandon,
go?
why don't you start us off with the teams that were there, and I guess the pre-party.
Hey, and if you don't mind, real quickly, Joe, let's go with John Scollo first. We know
Okay,
that this is what it's named after, and
Yep.
so Brandon, if you don't mind filling everybody in, and I think it's special when you attend a tournament and there's, a meaning behind it like this, and so maybe if you can start with that, and then we'll head into the weekend, maybe the weather, the fields. Joe will chime in, the competition, and ultimately, the end result.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Joe's been several times. So he kind of knows how it goes every year. And yeah, John Scollo, Mike Kleske used to run this team. They actually brought me out of the police academy pretty much almost 20 years to the month ago. Ran this team for many, many years. And John, I guess eight years ago, this Memorial Day, so it's coming up on the anniversary in a couple weeks here, took his own life. And a lot of us were at a friend's house at a party and got the phone call, and John had taken his life, and his actually own agency and a lot of his own guys are the ones that breached the house to find him because they couldn't get a hold of him. And then a lot of us were called to the house because obviously we were all real good friends with him, and so that kind of started this. His son at the time, Kyle, was 11. A lot of John's family was from out of state, and Kyle actually spoke at the funeral, and it was one of those eerie things. He didn't get emotional. He spoke there very mature at 11, but from that time on, it kind of went downhill for Kyle because it was him and his mom Tiffany living in Ohio. Kyle never really grieved for a long time, and we kind of took the big brother role, doing things for him, going on trips, seeing him when he would come down, taking him out, trying to send him money where we could, doing this and then this tournament kind of changed from bacon ball back in the day to John Scollo. And so it became a fundraiser for Kyle. We'd do his college fund. We'd fly him down, put him up, and Rocco Mango from Rocco's Tacos was always a huge part of that, big part of the financial side of it, because him and John were very tight. And it's been John Scollo, I think, for 7 years now. We moved to different locations to the Wellington field where we're at now. And it's kind of taken off from there. It's every year Kyle comes in, he plays now. This was the first year he hasn't been here and attended because he actually went to the military and he's in Iraq. So his mom flew in from Ohio and kind of stood in for him throughout the first pitch. And her and Kyle wrote something they wanted us to, actually wanted me to, to relay to all the teams as far as their gratitude. So it's always an emotional time, every year. I mean, for Kyle, what he's been through, I know all the hard times and all the therapy and all the bad days and nights he's had. And for him to come through this now, being in the military, doing a great job, planning to move down to South Florida here in October when he gets back and wants to get hired with my agency. So,
oh, wow.
I'll get him hired on.
Wow.
And, and he'll start his police career down here just like his dad.
Yeah. Wow.
He wants to do. And if you see pictures of him now, that kid's built like a brick house. I mean,
yeah.
he's I think he's got a lot of time on his hands over there to work out. So he's a man now. He's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
And, but his family enjoys it, man. And Joe will tell you, it's emotional every year. It's those guys gave me the opportunity to play this sport and get into the circuit years ago. And John was always that guy that kind of brought people together and was the life of every party. And I've kind of just tried to carry it on a little bit. And right now it's running smooth. I don't try to get too crazy, too many teams. I don't try to get too big. I try to just do what's manageable and have a good time and everybody a good venue to play. And so,
well, I'll tell you what, man, I mean, when we start talking about, the issues and the things that go on within our, our heads when we're trying to deal with things along with providing for others. I mean, that's why I still tell everyone that I see in a uniform or even people that I know, even on my own team, that I appreciate their service, man, because it's not an easy thing to deal with. Along with, because the way I always put it is, we work so hard at solving everyone's problems, and sometimes it's difficult for us to to kind of practice on solving our own. And so we don't criticize. All we can do is feel and hopefully, try your best when that time comes to be able to lend an ear to people. So it's a awesome thing that Kyle is serving our country. We appreciate your service, man. Absolutely appreciate your service. And man, if he joins on with that department, man, what a neat feeling to be able to, to have a part of getting him on the department, ultimately watching him grow and continue to contribute, like his father did and like we all do. So that's an awesome thing, man. So so that being said, man, so we know now what the tournament is named after. I'll tell you, Dan, Joe, Brandon, y'all got me messed up earlier with these names. So Dan, because I've never messed Dan's name up. He said he umpired in this event a few years ago, and what a great event. And also said, Brandon, great tournament. Keep up that great work you're doing with that tournament. So I know we're going to talk about it, and I know we're going to talk about somebody special who helped you out with that tournament. So we'll get going with it, man. So who was it that you had come out? Like what Joe is to me, you had somebody come help you when it comes to my tournament, and they're extremely important,
So Joe will tell you, I've told him about this. Listen, I can barter, I can get food, I can get, stuff for the fields, I can get the ground screw, balls, you name it. I'm pretty good at that stuff. I hate doing brackets. I hate putting together. I hate times. I hate trying to manage all, figure all that stuff out. So actually next year, I think I'm going to do it digital. I'm really thinking about buying a computer screen, doing it digital up on a screen, making this much more manageable for me next year. But with that being said, Jimmy Walters used to help me with the brackets a lot in the past because they were at our tournament every year. And this year, when Donnie Meyer retired from North Florida, Donnie comes every year. Him and John were good friends, and him and Becky they've always been a part of this tournament. So I asked Donnie, I said, would you be willing to be kind of like the co-host for me and director? Because everybody respects you, everybody knows you. And he was all about it. So we kind of did everything together, and Donnie, would go field to field, talk to people, just let people know that he was there, checked IDs for me. Did a lot, for me to help me be able to run a team, run a tournament, and play a little bit. So you got to have those guys. They're a dime a dozen. Joe, Joe went to the bracket. He actually found a little cluster I made and fixed that up.
It's a good thing you used pencil, man, so you could just erase those things and change a number or two. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, when you start talking about coaching, playing, and directing, I mean, we've been in that situation, so
it's stressful, man. And then Joe, you guys both know the lead up, the 3, 4, 5 days leading up, the people calling about hotels or calling about houses or restaurants to go to. Where's the best nightclub, the best strip club, whatever you want to say. I get Joe. You get these calls, man, and I love it because I love being like that host that sets things up. But the stress of it, and then you finally get there at 6 a.m. that first morning, and you're trying to set everything up and get the coolers and get the Dunkin' Donuts out there, and the brackets are just one of those things that's in the back of your head. Like you hope the time is right, you hope the weather's good. But yeah, man, listen, I have no ego when it comes to that. I just want to get it right and make sure everybody's on par. Because last thing you want to do is send a team 25, 30 minutes back to the hotel, but you screwed up and they're playing in an hour, So, but we'll get there. We'll get there, man. Donnie's going to continue to be a part of it and help me out. And
the thing I like about that is who's going to argue with Donnie? I mean, seriously.
Well, that's why, right? That's why I say, listen, go talk to Donnie. He'll figure
exactly.
it out.
And they're like, oh, all right.
Not
I'm
not
cool.
only
I'm
that,
good.
but I turn around, and next thing you know, I see Donnie out on the mound pitching for one of the teams out there.
A team was struggling. They were a local team, and their pitcher got lit up. And Donnie goes, "Hey, they need help." And I go, "Listen, man, go for it. Go do it. Jump on the mound." So Donnie went and played a game or two and pitched, and came back over after they got knocked out and started doing the stuff again for me. So, I can't. And Becky, his wife, man, she's a diamond, man. She walks around and does raffles and and just helps out any way she can at the sessions. Man, there's not too many people like that that'll literally give up their weekend for not a lot to really support something that they know is a good cause, So
Well, I'll tell you what, if Donnie can't make it, she's a great fill-in because who's going to argue with her also?
He's
I mean,
awesome.
I'm telling you, I think that's you got two people at least.
Yep.
So no, that's
Yep.
awesome, man. So how was the weather? What were the fields like?
Listen, once again, a lot of these guys have been coming forever. There's a lot of great parks. Joe went and hit BP at a great park, and there's a lot of them I know around the area within 30 minutes that are phenomenal ballparks, 4 or 5 fields. I go an hour and a half north of me. I go to Vieira. I got probably the best turf fields in the country. But that complex, the city of Wellington, where we're at, they treat us so well. The ground crew is phenomenal. If I tell them to drag the field every game, they'll go drag the field every game. They're those kind of guys. They'll do anything you ask them. They fill up the coolers for us with ice every morning. Every evening they take them and fill them up. I mean, I literally don't have to do much of anything when it comes to the park. They want us there. They're the commission, the mayor, they all come out. My girlfriend Nicole, I've been dating forever, who's right here.
All right. She's like, give me 2 seconds notice.
She's actually the new captain out there now that runs that area. So now
I'm
used in, but
all right.
It's been a good thing, and the weather was phenomenal until the championship game. For 15 minutes it rained the whole weekend and flooded out the championship game.
That's what I saw in the background. I was like, man, they're all holding their trophies, their rings, and it's like, dude, I see the water on the field. Oh, wow. So it happened at the very end.
It wasn't any more than 10 to 12 minutes, but it was a hurricane.
That's how it is in Florida.
The sun was gone. The sun was out. It was beautiful again, but the fields, it was going to be a 2-hour window of waiting, and we had to double dip TBL at that point. And trust me, we would have waited, but there was it was what it was. But everything else was good at the time. I mean, we pretty much were on time. I mean, within a 5 or 10 minutes on every game, I believe. There was one game that was nuts. It was Miami 5-0 beat North Florida like 52-38, which was crazy. That
game was insane. That lasted like 2.5 hours.
Has there ever been a higher scoring game?
Yes.
I wonder in y'all's memory.
So last year or the year before, Thin Blue Line, and I don't know if it was Lockdown. Don't quote me on the second team. Maybe Lockdown, but for sure it was Thin Blue Line with Jimmy and Joel. And they won the same thing the evening game on the first night. They won that 67 to like 48. It was, I mean, it was, you would have thought we were in Colorado with the balls flying, but they with 6 home runs scored 67 runs. And that set us back like 2 games. We couldn't play anything, but I've never seen anything like that. This was
crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Well, that's cool, man. Well, I'll tell you. So I know that the competition. I said was great. How many teams did you have out there?
We had 15. We had 18. One I just couldn't take. I had to really kind of which was NYPD's finest. It was just too much at the time, but I like that crew. That's a good crew, and good people running that. And then the Hounds had to back out when things happened there.
Yeah.
And probably 2 weeks before lockdown backed out, some guys kind of bailed on Terry. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Terry Dugan's a good dude, man. He's been doing this a long time. He deserves a lot of respect and a lot of praise for what he's done for the circuit.
Absolutely.
So I was disappointed about that for him.
And I've never heard of them being in that position where they have to back out. So that being said, it's a one-off. It happens. I understand it. So,
Yeah, but 15's good. 15 for 3 fields is perfect.
Absolutely.
Guarantee. So that's not big.
Yeah. Very cool. So when we start talking about the competition, everybody said it was awesome. What do we have? We got some pictures to go with it. So we'll start with our first picture. You can talk about that here. Let's see. All right. So, hey, who's that?
That's my guy.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what's left of us. Yeah, we're about 4 short there, but that's my guys there. And man, we lost 17-16 to Thin Blue Line on the first night, and fought through the losers bracket and beat 4 in a row, and got back to TBL and then got rained out. But hey, guys,
and Brandon, that was unfortunate because I truly believed you guys were rolling, man, and nothing against TBL, but I think you guys would have pulled that out. I think you would have won 2 in a row. just you guys were rolling, man. You guys were hitting the crap out of it. You guys, your gloves were. I mean, you guys made some unbelievable plays against us there. The game you knocked us out, and you guys just looked really good.
Well, that game against Joe's team, that was what I told my guys, that this is a staple game. You know, you're playing guys here that have been around, the veterans, some of the best from 3 or 4 different teams, and you win this game, and that we can roll from here. Nothing against anybody else, but that was a collective group of really, really good players. And Joe knows my shortstop and 5-man, man. I praise those guys like no other, and they made some key plays early in that game that kind of set the tone, and that kind of flipped the script, and then we just got rolling from there. You know,
I don't think your shortstop middleman missed a ball.
No, I don't know if they've missed many in the past couple of years, but
no. They're smooth, man. They're smooth with the glove.
Well, I can. So I know we have. If we can bring that picture back up real quickly, Brandon, you're used to standing in the back, right? You're like, where to go when it comes to picture time, right? You're always going to be in the back.
Yeah,
but I know the guy.
Wear a cap, man. I go at the back.
And I know the guy to your right. He's deep undercover. He's like, hell no, nobody's getting me in this photo. He's hiding behind there. It's like a little bit of his cheek, and that's about it.
That's Turnip. That's my hillbilly from Georgia.
And he hit the crap out of the ball. At least really? Against us, he did. He hit really well.
Yeah. So we got the majors champs. We'll throw their picture up there, and you talked about them earlier. So all right. So here we go.
So TV. One big thing I changed this year, and you mentioned it earlier. And I'll give a lot of credit to Blair, because Jeff, is always trying to change stuff up, and he made our tournament one of the Elite Eights. And I think both of you guys are Elite Eight tournament too, right? So, I really got with Dave, who has been on this team, and I was like, listen, man, if we're getting this prestige of being one of these tournaments, we got to kind of step it up. Last year I think I paid entry fees to Vegas. I've given bat bags and bats. I said we need to do something really, really cool, something kind of like stands out, makes a statement. And I had this ring guy that I was recommended by one of my firefighters down here, that they play all the world tournaments, Vegas, everywhere. They always use the same championship rings. And I made up my mind then, like, listen, everybody loves rings, right? It's a keepsake. And you can see on these guys, obviously I didn't get them fitted, but I did 15 rings or 14 for each team, gold and major champs. And I gave them out there. And then I gave plaques. I always give these plaques with John's face on it. One of my favorite photos of John. I always give out, as a plaque and MVP, or my bad, all tournament. But this year we did bourbon bottles up as softballs with a John Scollo and Elite Eight on each side.
Cool.
I gave those out as MVPs this year instead of plaque or a trophy. And I think it went over really well, man. I think it was something different. It was something cool. It's like a keepsake you can put in your office, in your house. And it was a big, it was a big thing. I think a lot of people just liked it. It was different, So
that's awesome, man.
With going forward.
Yeah.
I
like the idea.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I love keepsakes. I'm a keepsake. Yep. I want something I got forever, not a T-shirt that in 2 years is kind of wore out.
Yep. Well, I think that's awesome, and I believe I'm going to follow suit on a few of those things, man. I really like it, especially the MVP, thing, and also the rings. Rings were a discussion last year, and so I'm excited about being able to incorporate that. So, hey, there's my beautiful wife. Those are cool MVP bourbon balls. Well, honey, you got to understand you're on a podcast with a bunch of policemen, so how you word things are very important, but she gets a pass. If I was with my SWAT guys, that would not go over well. I'd be catching all kinds of text messages, but no, man, I think that was awesome. Let's see. We got the next photo. This is going to be our gold champions. There we go. Check them out.
So Connecticut, man, I'll say this about Tommy's team, man. There was a little bit. I try to do things a little different when they run these tournaments. I look at Tampa every year. I say who played each other in Tampa, and I try to change up my round robin for our tournament where the same teams aren't playing each other again like they did in Tampa, because we have a lot of the same teams. So I switch it up, and then when I predetermine these up and lowers, I make sure the gold do not play any gold teams in the round robin. So when they see them for the first time in their bracket, it's brand new to them. Now, I think a couple of teams don't like it because they're getting beat up by major teams, but the Connecticut team played 3 major teams. They lost by less than 4 runs, I think, in all 3 games. So they were right there. They're close. They have a lot of talent. And then they lost, I think, the first game in the gold division, and then came back and double dipped FLE, which is a Florida team here that was playing really well. So they've won this, I think, 2 of the last 3 years. I think they've won the gold now, and they always come support it. They have a bunch of good young talent. They're a couple pieces away, man. They could do some damage in gold in Vegas if they stay together, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, I talked to Tommy, and he fills me in on a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that, I mean, he was just super happy. He was happy with the prizes. He was happy, of course, with his team. And so it was a great outing for him. And, he's gone through some struggles, as we all do with managing a team and ultimately, trying to keep it all together. And so I'm really happy for that outcome for him, man. That was really cool. Yeah, that was very cool. And let's see, one more thing, Brandon, I was going to ask you. So what's going on with this picture here?
So the reason I put that in there is, it kind of goes back to Kyle, and it's called the Blue Star, which obviously you can see there on the flag. And actually Dave, who's in that photo, I'll give a lot of credit for, because he's very tied in politically in the state of Florida now, and it presents family members that are serving in the military, or either that have been killed in the military. And so he hung that up this year because Kyle is over in Iraq, and then Zach Hall, who is probably like the lifeline of my team, is actually in National Guard Army Reserves right now, and he won the Iron Soldier Award as a top recruit. He's actually in airborne school now, and I don't know when or if he's ever coming back now. But we did that flag for those 2 guys, for Kyle and for Zach.
That's cool.
To represent, hey, that they're over serving our country.
That's cool.
So it was a cool photo, and Tiffany hadn't seen that before, and that was Kyle's mother there, the female there.
All right.
So we just wanted to take a picture and send it. It meant a lot. Once again, we're trying to do the suicide awareness that we do, and then that for our military, brothers and Kyle. So
awesome.
Means a lot.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. I love the meaning behind things like that. And whenever I walk into someone's house, I like looking at the stuff that they have hanging on their walls, the stuff that they have presented. I mean, it means something, and I get to know a lot about a family or an individual when I walk into someone's house and pay attention to those things. So when I saw your tournament, these few things stood out to me. I was like, I want to know about it. So that's awesome, man. Well, hey, you have the dates on this tournament every year, right? And this is just about,
it's always in April.
Okay.
I get away from Tampa as much as I can. And but this was latest I've done in April, but it was because Easter, I think, was a little later in the month, maybe. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's normally second, third week of April, normally every year.
Okay.
Pretty good time for us. And
all right.
But yeah, I'm always looking to improve it, man. It's always trying to improve it, doing something. And
yeah.
And one year I'll get it all right, but so far,
well, it seemed like it was all right this year, man. So
hey, next year, call me before the tournament starts, and I'll help you out with that bracket.
You're the man.
Hey, Joe, don't you be cheating on me, man. I got something special with you, and I don't mind lending you out, but don't wear them out, Brandon.
Hey,
I need them to be fresh for me.
For guys like Joe, it probably takes 10 minutes. For me, I'm like 2 hours looking at this thing. Okay, what is that again? So.
Well, you saw Red's comment here just a second ago, and so let's go. Let's bring it back up, because I know there you go. Great tournament. My legs still hurt from the NFL game.
Yeah, at 52 runs, it should hurt.
Yeah. Well, hey, Brandon, I'm telling you, man, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to keep you you don't have to stay, man, but if you want to, you hang out, cool. And I know the next thing we're going to talk about is the Brian Asselton tournament. Just a quick recap of that, but it's going to be real quick. So I'm going to stick in the background and maybe bring you out. And if you sign off, that's cool too. And Joe and I will continue on. All right. Appreciate you joining us, though, Brandon.
Hey, I appreciate all the teams that came, man. I really do appreciate everything. So thanks for always continuing to support it. I appreciate that.
Great time as always.
Brother, man. Thank you for supporting us like you do.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Yeah, man, that's cool. I like that guy. Get a good feeling from him all the time. So, hey, man, we went to the Brian Asselton Memorial Tournament. Joe, we're at 49 minutes, so I know we're going to try to wrap it up. Went up there with Torch Electronics. This was a Masters tournament. And, Joe, this is our team here. And that's a great bunch of dudes, man. A lot of fun. Had a great time. I know that, let's see here. One of the things that's pretty cool about, when you go to tournaments is being able to catch up with everybody, right? And so when we talk about, let's see here, we talk about this next one. So we met up with Todd Amlin from North Florida, and if you see what I saw, he was walking with a cane. And I was like, man, what's going on with him? And knee surgery, man, it's crazy. But he's up, he's walking around, and I'm happy to be able to see that he got past that surgery, man. That makes me cringe when I see that type of an injury. But yeah, man. So the other thing is your buddy, my buddy, your teammate, but friend Shane hooked us up with a really cool gift for my son. It's a Monopoly game, but it's out of San Antonio. He found it, man. He scooped it up for us, and I thought that was just really cool. So it's always great to be able to go to these tournaments and to be able to hang out, man. It was really cool. I agree, Audrey. We went out afterwards, after the tournament, went out to the beach and hung out there on the strip. And then you see afterwards, these guys really made a trip out of it and hung out at the beach later. So yeah, that was really neat, Joe.
That was good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, we start talking
the Hulkster,
the Hulk Hogan. He had his now Brian Asselton tournament, now Memorial Tournament. I know that took place. What was the park? Do you remember, or like the location of the tournament? Do you have any idea of the location of the tournament?
Well, it was in Tampa, but
okay, Tampa. There you go.
But I can't remember the name of the.
That's
complex.
Cool, but it's in Tampa.
Yeah.
And what month was that?
I think it was the last weekend of February.
Okay, all right. So one of the things that happened on that tournament was we got to go out with our buddy Shane, and we got a little something from Shane that he does.
Brandon just said it's Dick Greco Complex. That's the name of it.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, check this one out. This is
Make a lick a high, make a honey ho. Make a lick a high, your mom's a hoe.
Jesus Christ.
You're going to see more from Shane here in just a little bit, but that guy's a nutcase, man, and it was a great time. Joe, what were the tournament results?
Well, I can tell you this. South Florida, are we talking about the Masters, or are we going to talk about the Open, or both? We'll talk about the Masters.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We took third place in the Masters. Like Trini said, great group of guys. Great time playing with a lot of new faces to the team. But it was like Trot, for instance, just turning 40. It was nice to have him out there finally. It's nice to have someone who can actually run the bases still. But anyway, getting into the Open, you had Kentucky Blue, who kind of ran through everybody. They had a really strong team, really strong showing. They got a few guys that play U-Trip conference ball. And if those guys are going to be around all year with them, that's going to be a tough team to beat no matter what tournament they're playing in. But yeah, they beat Miami Dogs, who, again, we talked about when Brandon was on. Miami Dogs is stacked top to bottom. Those guys can play. They don't really travel too much outside of Florida, but all the Florida tournaments, they're always finishing in the top. They gave Kentucky a run for their money, but Kentucky, came out on top. One thing with that tournament, we'll get the gold division. South Florida went undefeated, ended up beating Center Mass. I played with South Florida. Me and Gilbert did. They were short a couple guys, so we slid in over there with them. One thing I wanted to mention was after that tournament, there was an issue with one of the not an issue, but there was one of the pitchers got hit in the chin from North Florida, was playing Kentucky Blue. Kentucky Blue pitcher gets a ball right back, and she couldn't even react. Takes it off the chin and deflects, hits him in the chest, knocks him to the ground. I believe he was unconscious for a short period of time. Ambulance showed up. Luckily, he had a mask on. Probably would have blown his face up, busted his jaw in how many pieces. But that's a great reason why pitching, it should be required in our circuit. I believe should be wearing a mask every game. In St. Louis, I'm going to make it a rule. I know Brandon in his tournament, I believe, made it a rule that it was a requirement.
Awesome.
Pitchers had to wear a face mask for that reason. I mean, there'd be
I'm going to bring Brandon on. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, that 1 in 100 shot that comes back up, hits the guy in the chin where he doesn't have the time to react, could be a life changer. You know what I mean? So wearing that mask is a huge thing. And that probably saved, I would say it saved the Kentucky Blue pitchers' face and, maybe something worse, who knows. But after seeing that, I think it's a great idea that not only, that we as individual directors of tournaments make it a requirement. I think it should be across the board, to be honest.
I really like that.
Well, I can tell you, like in our tournament, even in Tampa, when I saw that happen, which me and Joe, we were playing on another field, but obviously I saw the ambulance pull up, and I saw the Dogs pitcher the whole tournament finished third, didn't wear a mask at all. And don't get me wrong, these guys are legit and they're very reactive, but like Joe said, that's Kentucky who ran through everybody, and their pitcher, I don't think ever even saw the ball come back.
Yeah.
I actually wrote it into our insurance. We get insurance at our field every year. I pay for insurance in our field. I do a separate insurance policy for our field every year. And we actually wrote it into that this year about the mask, about having to have this stuff. And that's why I put out there all these teams that you got to have IDs this year and you got to have a mask or you're not playing.
Yeah.
Our pitcher, who Joe played with the first time in Tampa, a very good pitcher, he took 2 or 3 line drives off the shin guards that went into the outfield. So shin guards just as important as these face masks.
Yeah.
You'll lose a leg the way guys are hitting the ball. So it's scary, man. But I think that's the right way to do it. You got to have a mask or you shouldn't be on the mound.
I think with tournament directors, it's something, I mean, I agree with it. I know there are some pitchers who are big into like, man, I don't like the view. I don't like the way it looks. At the same time though, I mean, I think it'd be interesting to put it out there and just see what people think. But in the end, for your particular tournament, it's how you feel about the subject. And, hopefully it doesn't deter people and they understand the purpose of it. I guarantee if we show some videos that are online and people see it, which I saw firsthand when I was in the Air Force and I saw a guy get all his teeth knocked out, man. I mean, it was bad. It made me a believer. So I think that's important. But so I know, Joe, were you finished with the teams? Or not?
Yeah, we're good with that, man.
Okay. All right, cool. So I know we had the tournament results. One thing that I talk about, and that is, going places and visiting places when you go, is we went to a place called the Alligator Farm there in Tampa. I think it was right. I don't know. I think it was in Tampa or it was close. My daughter really wanted to go there. So we went to this crocodile farm and check this out real quick. When we go up there, it's a crocodile farm. It's not too far. We'll keep going. Let's see, we got that. These are the crocodiles that are there, man. They come up on these ramps, and man, check this out, Joe. It's really neat what you get to do when you're there. Yeah, go ahead, Deanna.
There was no fight. Let's try again.
They're not gonna fight. If you throw them in between, they might
I'm gonna
argue over
big
it.
One again, okay? Oh,
God, he's so man.
I want to bring him closer again. I want to bring him closer.
Hold on. There's another one right there. Look.
Oh, you're right.
Hold on. Look at him. Right there.
There you go, guys. Keep that noise up.
I was pretty impressed with that place, man. It was worth the trip. I didn't think it was going to be. I was kind of worried about it. It was worth the trip. And while we were there, check out who we ran into. We ran into Reggie from Great Lakes and Todd Amlin from North Florida. It was really cool, man. Didn't plan on it. I mean, we're just sitting there watching the show, and it was really cool to be able to see them there. And hey, Reggie sporting the Keepers of the Peace shirt. Had no idea I was going to be there. So That's a big shout out to Reggie, man. Thanks for tuning in.
I figured you gave him that shirt off your back. That's what I thought happened.
It wouldn't have fit him, man. That guy's he's pumped. Hey man, so that was the Brian Asselton tournament we attended there in Tampa. Just a little side note on our SA Law team. We participated in the Guns and Hoses tournament here recently, and we were able to come out with the win. So we're very, very happy. You know, Biotex and our sponsor Biotex, along with Elite, you know, helped us out with this tournament, and so it was really cool to be able to win this one. This was a Guns and Hoses tournament there in Mansfield. So that was pretty cool. You see Mo, Joe?
I see him, man.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, while we were in Tampa, and you told me along with, and I think this is a very important part of the podcast, is we understood a situation that took place with one of our brothers in the circuit. And Joe, I know we were, Ty was going to join us when it came to our team there when we were playing in Tampa at the Brian Asselton tournament, and he landed at the airport. And Joe, if you'll take it, because what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about what we did, you know, to help him and his family out, his little girl Reagan.
Well, Ty, he was going to be playing with the Great Lakes. He plays with Great Lakes, but he was coming into Tampa to play with them. He landed in I believe the Tampa airport, gets a phone call with some bad news from back home that his daughter, I believe on her 4th birthday, had just had some scans done, and the results were not the best. And she was diagnosed with a form of leukemia. With that phone call, he obviously turned back around, went back home, didn't get to participate out in Tampa. But when we heard the news, we wanted to try to, you know, do something to show our support for Reagan and for for Ty and his entire family. And so we went ahead and put together a little video here, I guess, if Trini wants to go ahead and get that rolling.
Yeah. So what we did was we wanted to be able to put something together for Reagan in particular, but also, of course, for her family. And it came from a place where everybody in our circuit was able to, I say everybody, but, you know, certain people, because we couldn't make it too long, represented from the circuit. So I think it would be really, really cool for you guys to tune into this video right now. So Deanna, if you don't mind rolling it. Hey Reagan, it's Trinidad. I'm the coach of the San Antonio Law Police softball team. We play softball with your dad, along with officers from all over the nation. Well, we all heard that you were going through a little bit of a tough time right now, so we thought we might do something to maybe brighten your day. Check this out.
Hey there, Reagan. My name is Sean Larkin, and I just wanted to reach out and say hi to you, let you know that I am thinking about you. You're a tough one. You're going to kick this thing's butt. Everybody's thinking about you. One of my friends plays with the Missouri Lawmen. We're from Oklahoma. Wanted to say hi and let you know we think about you. Get it. Bye.
Hi, Reagan.
Hey, Reagan. It's JT and the Tabano family from your dad's team, Great Lakes, coming to you from Florida. We're thinking about you and your family and hoping your treatments go smoothly. Bye.
Take care.
My name is Investigator Reginald Barker of the Cook County Sheriff's Office, Chicago, Illinois. I stand behind Reagan through a process 100%. And also, Jim Baseball stand behind Reagan to stand Reagan strong.
Reagan strong!
Hi, Reagan from the Zerk family. Just reaching out, let you guys know that we're here for you. Just know we're right down the road if you guys ever need anything. Keep up the good fight. You know you're going to beat this, and we love you guys.
Hey, Reagan.
Hi, it's Javi. It's Sully.
From the Monterubio family, just want to let you know to keep on fighting and that you have a big family behind you with the SA family and the Monterubio family. Love you, Reagan. Bye.
Hello, Reagan. This is Kelly and Donald Morgan, and we're from Michigan.
We're part of your Great Lakes family, and we're making this video to offer you all of our love and support and best wishes.
Hey Reagan, my name's Joe. I play softball with your dad. I just wanted to let you know that everyone on the Missouri Lawman and in St. Louis is thinking about you, and you got to make sure, tell your dad next time he's in St. Louis to bring you. We're going to introduce you to our friend Fred Bird at one of the Cardinals games. We'll see you there.
Hey Ty, hey Reagan. I just want to let you guys know that we're thinking about you and that we love you. Of course, if there's anything that we can do for you, just let us know. So on behalf of myself, Mandy and Bowden, we love you. We're thinking about you and we're praying for you.
Hi Reagan, hi Ty. This is Tommy from Shelby Township, Michigan. Just want to let you guys know I'm thinking about you. I know it's a hard time for you guys and your family. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm always here.
Hi Reagan, my name is Kevin. I play softball with your dad. Just want to let you know that we're thinking about you over here in Michigan. We hope you get better very soon.
Hi Reagan, this is Team Ward coming from Jackson, Michigan. We're wishing you well and we'll be there for you every step of the way. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey Reagan, Travis Percola here from Shelby Township. We're here for you. We love you.
Hey Reagan, this is Justin Beal from Tulsa Police Department here in Oklahoma. Play for Missouri Lawman. Just want you to know that we're fighting with you. You're strong and you're gonna kick this thing's butt. You're not alone, and we're all praying for you every single night. You're gonna win this thing. Keep your head up.
Hi Reagan, my name is Jeff Blair. I'm one of the founding members of PoliceSoftball.com. And I want you to know I'm in California, and I'm telling you there's officers from California to Florida, from New York to Seattle, from Texas to Canada. Police officers who play softball all across the world who are supporting you, and we look forward to seeing you back on the field soon.
Hey Reagan, this is Vladimir Gomez from Arkansas. I play for SA Low, play against your dad in the police circuit. I know you're going through a tough time right now, but you got this. You're a pretty strong little one. From the Gomez family, we wish you nothing but the best and hope to see you soon out there this summer. Go Reagan.
Hey Reagan, it's Andy Sides with the Missouri Lawman here in Missouri. Just want to let you know that we're thinking about you, we're praying for you. We know you're going to get through this, so you stay strong.
Hey Reagan, this is your dad's friend Shane Monig from the Missouri Lawman. Guaranteed his #1 friend that's a unicorn. I hope you're feeling well and hope everything's going good, and we will see you here soon in St. Louis at our tournament. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hi Reagan, this is Moses from SA Law. Just wanted to take time to let you know that we're thinking about you, we're praying for you, and we're wishing you all the best. Stay strong. Hope to see you soon. Take care.
Hi Reagan, it's Jenny.
Olivia, it's Emily.
And Adam.
Reagan, we think about you every single day. We love you so much. We're always behind you. You are so strong and so beautiful.
Hi Reagan, I can't wait to see you this summer. We love you. Hi Reagan, you're so strong and beautiful, and I can't wait to play with you this summer because you're one of my best friends.
Hi Reagan, we're always thinking about you. We love you and we really hope you get better soon. We love you, Reagan.
Well, Reagan, I hope you felt very special after you watched that video. I'll tell you what, if you don't know by now, you are not alone. We all love you, we care about you, we're thinking about you all the time, and we sent you a little something special. So I hope you enjoy your gift basket. I hope you enjoyed all the messages, and we're going to be seeing you out at the field here soon, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Look it. Oh my goodness. It's got a lot of your favorite people in here, huh?
Oh, we have to scan this first.
Hey Reagan, it's Trini, Trinidad. I'm the coach of the San Antonio Law Police softball team. We play softball with your dad, along with officers from all over the
I'll tell you what, man. I will say this. For me, as somebody who has, been in situations where, laying on the bed in a hospital and wondering, what the future looks like. For the Rubio family, I know that I can say with some serious certainty that being in that situation, especially when it comes to, like, when it's me, that's one thing. But if it's my family, if it's my wife, if it's my children, it's like, man, let me have that. I don't want them to have that. Like, I'd rather it be on me. And I know that that's what that family is going through. And so to be able to see the reactions is extremely important. And for those that don't know, we don't make any money on this podcast, man. This is, we don't advertise anything really. I mean, we don't receive anything. Deanna is in the background. And Deanna, real quickly, I'm going to add her to the stream. Deanna's right now in the office with me. She gets off at 5:30. So when people may not understand that what we do is we do for the love of our circuit, for our brothers and sisters in blue, and ultimately for the camaraderie and the fellowship. So I will say that I'm so happy that we could positively impact a family that's going through what they're going through in the way that we did. Thank you for those that sent those videos in. And Deanna, thank you. She prepared that, that package, for Reagan, and sent it off. We talked about it, but ultimately she's the one that did it. And then to the Rubio family for wrapping it up and putting our stickers on there when we put it on there. I mean, it was awesome to be able to do that. And to me, that's the stuff that when your time does come, that when you look back, it's neat to think about how you positively impacted people. And I just think it was really neat to be able to do that for that family. And I'm very happy that we could provide a little bit of, light when things are dark for them. So it was really awesome, man.
But Trini, kudos to you real quick. I just told Nicole here, I said, this is why this is more than softball, This isn't about softball half the time. It's these relationships and friends stuff you and your family did for her. And, you can't put a price tag on that, man. Or, that's way above and beyond. But that's why this is special. And that's why we enjoy doing this. So it's a lot more than softball.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then when you start talking about, Shane with his unicorn. Do we have a picture of Shane with that? So when we saw this video, we were on a vacation. I don't remember where we're at, but this was our reaction. If we can bring that one photo up. I mean, it's crazy. Let's see. We'll bring that up. I agree, Dan. But Deanna will bring that up here in just a second. But yeah, it was a really neat thing to be able to experience that. And so, yeah, there we go. So we got the picture. We're on a vacation. I think we're at that restaurant in Sedona with the sunset. And when we got Shane's video, I mean, it really brightened up our day. So Shane, thank you.
I think Shane's got a whole room full of costumes because you don't know how many different costumes I've seen this guy in. Unicorns, rabbits, the Grinch, Santa Claus. I mean, you name it. He's got it.
That's so cool, man. Shane, thank you so much, man. We love you, dude. We love you, man. Hey, one of our players, Jay Stewart, had a hat made in particular. And Joe, I don't know if you saw it or not, but we'll throw that picture up there here in just a second. Jay Stewart on our team. If you don't know who Jay is, you'll see him there. He's usually taking a nap in between tournaments, which is what he was doing right there. That's a Torch Electronics there on the front, the T&E, but he had Reagan Strong on the back, man. Thank you, Jay Stewart, for that, man. That's so cool. People wouldn't probably ever know, but I thought it was important to be able to highlight that on an individual level. But we also want you to know that there are Reagan Strong t-shirts available. Jenny has them. If you haven't looked her up, it's Jenny Orozco, and those are the shirts. So our team put an order in. If you guys wouldn't mind supporting you can get a hold of them. They have shirts and bands. So that'd be a great thing to do. And then finally, Ty sent me a message here. I think maybe 2 days ago, but we'll throw that up there real quick. Says, "Hey, Trini, just wanted to thank you for the gifts and the video you guys put together for my daughter, Reagan. It brought all of us a lot of joy and definitely lifted everyone's spirits. Can't wait to see y'all and play soon. Thanks again." So thank you for allowing us to be a part of y'all's experience and what you're going through, and to be able to help in some way, because that's that's a value. Living a fulfilled life is what we did by giving a little piece of our support to you guys. So thank you for that. All right, man, that was great, man. Hey, so real quickly, and we're going to run through this because I know we're over on our time. We got our Keepers of the Peace tournament that's coming up. We got our dates that are going to be shown here in just a second. There's our date, September 8th and 9th, with the player party on the 7th. We do have our hotels. So you have your links. There's 2 hotels that we have rooms booked. There's the Fairfield Inn and the Hampton Inn. Prices have gone up a little bit. So those are the prices, but I promise you they're good prices. They're less than 5 minutes from the fields, and they're newer hotels. So they're nice. So we have the link in the description. If you go to the description, you'll be able to, get that down below. The fields are there in Waxahachie. They're all turf. So the 3 that you see that aren't turf, they're turf now. So they're all turf fields. So you can get ready for Vegas, especially being a month out. This year we have our players party we had before at Beef O'Brady's, but this year we've got to move it. We've outgrown our players party. So we're going to be having it at Big Al's Down the Hatch, which is where we've had our previous party. And we've had like karaoke and things of that sort. So and I don't know, do we have a picture of Big Al? I think we do, right? So that shirt right there is from what's the team?
DEA Combo.
Yeah, there you go. DEA Combo. They asked, "Hey, let us have your shirt," and they took it off. But look what they did, man! They signed it and then they framed it and put it up in their establishment. So Big Al's down there is a very impactful person in my life when it comes to Kid Craddock in the Morning. Very impactful people. It's a radio show here in Texas, and Kid.
I like his hat,
dude. I'm telling you. Yeah. Well, Big Al's going through a few things right now, health-wise, and so we shared great conversation when I went over there, and we sorted it all out. It's going to be a great environment for the players' party. So I'm very proud to say that this year we're going to be having our bats provided again by Elite. These will be the same bats we're going to use in the World Series. So when you come down to the tournament, 1 month out, your team's going to be able to play all of our games with the same balls, which is by Elite, along with the same bats. So that's a big thing that I believe is, it's one of the main goals of our team is to try to play on turf fields. And man, now being able to utilize the bats and the balls that are going to be used in Vegas is big. So want to thank Elite again, Carlos and Ryan out there. And then one more thing is we'll go through the team list. Right now, these are the teams we have signed up, but we do have, of course, the Hounds are right now they're regrouping and so we'll have to take them off. But Deanna, that's on me. But we do have like probably about 4 or 5 more teams that we haven't added yet, but we're going to just confirm tomorrow and then we'll add them to the list. And one last thing is Wayne Spencer Jr. He had his birthday here recently in March, and it was pretty cool to be able to see that he was sporting one of our shirts from the tournament. And man, I really love that guy, man. He's a great dude, and shared a jersey with me. So it was really cool to be able to see him wearing that shirt at a gathering. One more thing that's very important is we do have our Etchy honor chair efforts that we're making. This company that does these honor chairs, they have now the ability to travel and create these honor chairs. And if you can see a photo of this honor chair, you have an idea of what we're doing. So they create these honor chairs for fallen officers. And the intention is for it to be displayed in the roll call room But in the end, this one is, displayed at a banquet. But this honor chair, we are at 1,000. Am I right, Deanna? With $1,239 is where we're at. But we need 1,285, or what's the deal? Oh, okay. I think it's.
I'm just going to come on really quickly.
Okay.
We've raised $1,285. I put that total because that's the total after the fees
Okay.
that come out of it.
And what do we need?
Our goal is $2,000.
So we need $2,000. Again, if we do not reach this goal, that's okay. My wife, Audrey, is with Biotech is going to be making the difference up, but we'd like to be able to have it just come from the circuit. We'd like to be able to come from the officers in our circuit, so that way that's the way we can present it. So if you don't mind, share that with people. Deanna, will we have a link in the description? Okay, so we will have that. So yeah, very important to be able to make this. It's going to happen no matter what. And Joe, you're more than welcome, but I believe what's going to happen is they're going to travel now that they have the ability to create these honor chairs on site. We're thinking about driving down and allowing the officers and family to be able to take part in the actual cutting of the wood, the finish on the wood, the painting of the words. I mean, their process is so unique. And so people can actually have some contribution to the chair. And I think that's going to be very special. So that's going to be coming up. We'll be driving down to Florida to make that happen. And then finally with Joe, with the Show Me Classic, St. Louis Show Me Classic, we got the dates, Joe, for your tournaments coming up.
You got it. August 5th and 6th, Saturday, Sunday tournament. August 4th is going to be the night of the players party. We'll also, on the 4th, there's going to be a Colorado Rockies, St. Louis Cardinals baseball game. I'm going to, like years past, I'm going to get tickets for a group of whoever's interested in going to the game. The players party is going to be right across the street from the stadium.
Hey, Joe, real quickly.
Yep.
When they want to go to this game, how, like you have a cutoff, you got to ask for a certain amount of tickets by a certain time. So how long before?
Typically I get with the managers of each team. I'll send them out a text maybe about a month ahead of time, say, hey, get me a final number of anyone who's interested from your team. And then I'll take that number, get the tickets. We'll all have a nice group of seats, typically in the bleachers, all together as a group. And people can go, the game's going to be a 7:15 start. The party is going to start at 6 o'clock at PBR Ballpark Village, right across the street. It's going to be free beer starting at 6. So if you want to get some free drinks in you before you have to go over and pay $20 for a beer, that's probably a good idea. Start out at the party, head over to the game. And if I don't know what the temperature is going to be like, but if it's hot like normal, early August, you can come back to the AC, finish watching the game on the TVs at PBR, drink a few more free beers before we roll out of there. Typically,
Joe, real quickly, what I think is important for you guys to understand is you can go to the ball game. You can park in a garage. You can go to the ball game. And then, obviously, Joe's helping you out with tickets. So you go to the ball game. You want to leave early? Not a big deal, man. It's Ballpark Village. So as soon as you walk out of the ball field, I mean, it's a short walk and you're right there where PBR, the rodeo club is. But then there's a bunch of there's different kinds of clubs in there. There's different restaurants. There's a huge bar with huge TVs in the middle. I think it's one of the best player party environments that you can get. So it's all really, really close. And that's what makes it neat or unique.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. There's a few I know in Arlington, there's a really similar complex for anyone who's in Texas and has been there, just outside. The same developer developed that whole little bar complex that developed the Ballpark Village in St. Louis. They're awesome. The setup's great, and they're always a great time on game night. Also, anyone who ends up going to the game, it's bobblehead giveaway night that night.
Cool.
So you get a little bonus. You bring home something for one of your kids or something like that.
Yeah. Deanna, we have to remember to check out because last year at our tournament in Waxahachie for the Keepers of the Peace, the Rangers and the Cowboys were playing on that following weekend, and I didn't know that, so I dropped the ball on that one. This year, we need to make sure that we see if Dallas and the Rangers are playing, because people would stay and go check that out. And similar type of environment, with
Similar
the
setup where everything's just right next to each other, super convenient, and a really good time.
Cool. And the team list, Joe, you got a great team list. Brandon was commenting on that earlier. Let's get your team list in there. Brandon, I'm going to bring you back in real quick. And I'm glad we didn't get you when you were eating. I don't know what the hell you were eating, but you opened up your mouth really wide and shoved in a bunch of stuff. So you must have been hungry.
Well, we have 3 teams coming from Florida this year. One is Brandon's South Florida team, who, if they're bringing, everyone that they got, they're going to be one of the top few teams at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I don't know if this guy's going to be available, but there's a rumor that Brandon may be picking up maybe a Conference UTRA player. I don't know if he's going to have him for that tournament or not, but word is he's going to have him in Vegas. Well, I guess we'll see. But anyway, so we got, San Antonio Law is going to be there. They're past tournament champions. Great Lakes always seems to be in the final 2-3 teams. They've won several times. A couple new teams. You got Connecticut Lawmen, the Hounds, which are no longer the Hounds. They're New York Empire, and they're no longer run by Jimmy Walters. They're run by Scott Waxweiler out of Chicago. So he's going to be running that team. Jimmy Walters.
Dude, he's going to have Wax is going to have them marching into the complex, but then after they have a few pitchers, they're going to be stumbling out. That's what I think. That's my prediction. But Wax can handle himself, man. I'll tell you what, that dude gets better. The more pitchers he has.
Well, the thing about this is Scott's Wax is not going to be able to play with these guys because unless you somehow get down to the Gulf of Mexico and up to Mississippi, New York doesn't touch Illinois. So anyway, so Scott's going to strictly be manager, leader for this team. That's going to be his role with this team. And Jimmy had to step away for, he wanted to spend some more time with his family, and Wax ended up stepping in. There was some rumors that Torelli was going to come out of retirement and take over the team, but Wax slid in there, and he was the one that ended up taking that role. So I'm looking forward to those guys coming out. Kentucky Blue, obviously, hot team this year. They're supposed to be coming back. Some other new teams: Maryland Outlaws, Center Mass, Houston Heat. DEA is coming back. They haven't been in a couple years. NYPD Finest, new team out of New York. They played in Tampa earlier this year. Did really well. And Thin Blue Line's coming out for the first time to St. Louis, so I'm excited about that as well. It's a huge,
some great competition,
huge turnout. Going to be great competition, and I'm looking forward to this lineup.
Yeah, very cool. I'll tell you what, softball by Fat Frank, I will save one of those bats for you. And Joe, here's the big question on everyone's mind: are you going to ride the bull? Every year this comes up, and we want to know. I don't know if you know this or not, but Brandon, there's a bull, and what do you call those things? What
Mechanical bull.
Mechanical
bull at PBR.
I remember.
People can get on there if they feel like it. I always said, I'll get on there, but I'm not getting on there until after Dan Potter gets on there.
Dan, he's putting it back on you. Now, here's what I want to present as we close out the show. If we can do this for a great cause and everybody pitches in when we're there, Joe Monahan, will you get on that mechanical bull?
Only if Dan gets on with me.
With you?
With me.
Nah, there's got to be a weight limit. There's got to be, man. Look at Eddie. Eddie says, I'm coming for the bull. Joe, come on, man. You can do it.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, that would be so wonderful in my lifetime to be able to have that happen.
Hey, Brandon, you got any comments about that U-Trip conference ball player I mentioned?
Well, real quickly before he gets to that, he's been eating for 30 minutes straight. That's how you provide for that.
Listen,
that freaking.
It's carrots.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still been 30 minutes, dude. You've been
Like
eating
a rabbit. I just had a big dinner too, and now I'm eating carrots.
All right. So what's going on with this conference player? Joe brought it up. So
that's funny. Who's out there talking? But it's nobody to talk about. I mean, if it happens, it happens. You know how these conference guys are. I mean, there's some guys around. There's some guys around. They talk. You know,
Brandon's like a politician right now. This is how the things are talked about in politics. I see a lot of NBC nightly news, and he's handling it that way.
These guys play a lot. These guys that are at the top of the game, they play a lot. So it's hard to fit these guys in. And, in Vegas always seems to run around the major worlds anyway in Vieira. So it's
not this year, Brandon. He's available for you. I already checked.
Oh, they're not playing the same time this year?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Look at him eating those carrots. His eyesight's really good. I know that.
Look. Well, I got the quick platform. Thank Dan Potter. Thanks a lot for all the stuff you do, man. You really go above and beyond.
100%.
I know we talk about you a lot, bust your balls a lot, but you're literally one of the stand-up guys in the circuit, man. So thanks for all the stuff you do, all the raffles you do. People really should really give you a lot of credit for what you do, man, to stand up for a lot of people that you're not even in the same profession, man. So we love you and we appreciate it a ton.
I second what Brandon says.
I third it. Is there a fourth, fifth, and sixth? I mean, we can make it up, but that's where
you mentioned Wax's name. All of a sudden, he shows up. He shows up on the podcast, man.
Look at him. I'm excited every time I see that dude, man. It's always a good time. Eddie Castro says the perks of being the lieutenant in training division, great recruiting strategy. It's no joke, man. I mean, I'm telling you, if you can get somebody in the academy, that's key.
Listen, my opening speech and all the new groups come through. Like, I give my little speech. I'm like, whoever plays softball or just finished playing baseball, I'm like, talk to me after this.
I'm telling you.
That's true, man.
Yeah. Audrey says, I fourth it. Hey, Luke John says, great tourney, by the way. Brandon had a blast.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. You guys are a blast to have there, man.
Yeah, and Softball by Fat also agrees. So, hey, man, that's our show for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Takes a lot of work. Deanna, I want to thank you again. I'm going to bring you on. I'm telling you, if you see Deanna at a tournament, please give her a hug and say thank you. I mean, she does a lot, and it's just really cool to be able to put this together and do it from our heart. So thank you guys again for tuning in. For Brandon, for Joe, for Deanna,
Trini,
and everybody else. Yes.
Can I say one thing before we roll?
Yes, you can.
So we talked about the Hounds changing over to Empire, changing leaders. Just want to clarify one thing. So the tournament out in New York is still happening. James Rogers from New York's Finest is taking over that role of director for that tournament. It's going to be the same dates at the same park, just so everybody knows that tournament is still going on. And staying with the New York theme here, I just want to make mention that Police Softball Hall of Famer and 30-year police softball veteran Phil McGovern, Flip, was inducted into the New York State U-Trip Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Since our last show. So I just wanted to make mention of that, give a shout out to Flip, let him know that, great job on making another Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, Flip.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. I'll tell you what, one of those teams that we talk about is Louisiana. If those guys could get out more and travel, what a great squad, great group of guys. And so that's just another team that I'm hoping will get out and be able to travel more to different tournaments. Tom Ball. So what I want to know is, Tom, is this Tom Ball father or Tom Ball, our Tom Ball? That's what I want to know real quickly, because he's responding and I want to make sure I, address that. And look, this is one thing, Deanna, you love Andy always is like, Deanna needs a raise. Deanna 2024. Trini, you need to appreciate Deanna more. I mean, he really gets me when it comes to these podcasts. So Deanna, that's your number one fan right there.
Thanks, Andy.
No, but Deanna, thank you very much. And you know what? I know we're going to close it out. Deanna, if you don't mind, give a quick feel for what this means to you, because you're not an officer and you don't do what we do, but you're still involved. What's your feel with everything that you've had as far as your feelings over these years?
Yeah, so I've always had a deep respect for the service and the work that you guys do, because although you guys come and you clock in, y'all are putting your lives on the line every single day that you clock in. Y'all have bad days, y'all have good days. And so for me, I say it every time because it's true every time, but this is a way for me to give back to you guys, using the talents and the things that I've learned over the years. It's just a way for me to give back to you guys, knowing that you guys put your life on the line for me. And you're not even in my communities, but I know that if me or my family or whoever was, it would be the same thing. So for me, it's a way for me to give back, to show you guys how much I appreciate what you do and the work that you do. And y'all are all really awesome. So for me, it's just a way to continue to support you guys, to help foster a community that you guys can grow in and share in and have fun.
Awesome, Deanna.
Appreciate you, Deanna.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We appreciate you. And on that closing note, Tom Ball said, Tom Jr., Dad went to bed at 7:30. He's 80, man. That dude probably wakes up at 3 a.m. and goes out and jogs or something. That's what happens when you're older. But anyway, hey, man, again, back to the sign off. For Brandon, for Joe. Brandon, stay on, okay? For Brandon, for Joe, myself, and Deanna, I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. And hey, man, this is Trini. Don't forget, man, I got your 6.